What is going on, guys? It is Mikey here. We are back today once again with another video, and today we're going to be talking about my 2000 Mustang GT. If you guys haven't already seen it, this is my 2000 Mustang GT. It's got a 4.6 liter V8 with around 260 horsepower stock. When I bought the car last year, it had about 53,000 miles on it, and now we have around 63,000. Let's get started with all the mods that I've done to my car already. When my car came stock, its ride height was absolutely horrible and it looked like a monster truck. So I had to go and get some H&R Super Sport lowering springs. We're still on the stock wheels and tires, but it looks way better than it did when it came from the factory. Surprisingly, with no other suspension modifications, this car handles pretty well. Yes, it does have a little bit of body roll. It is an old Mustang, but I can really take this thing through the corners with confidence, and it feels good. Another modification I have done is a 12-inch juicy ass subwoofer in the trunk, and it sounds super good. My subwoofer is the Kicker L7R, and it pretty much takes up my whole trunk. Let's open up the car and check out the interior. Getting into the car, you'll notice that the previous owners maintained it super well. The interior is still pretty clean, the seats are in good condition, and it's pretty insane for a 20-year-old car. The only interior modification I have done at this point is a black shift knob from American Muscle. Here it is. Unfortunately, it doesn't screw on correctly, but that's gonna be fixed soon. The stock shifter is absolutely terrible. Half the time you don't know what gear you're in, it gets stuck going from second to third and it hits a wall, and it just doesn't give you a lot of confidence. So I'm gonna be going on to American Muscle again, and I'm gonna be buying the Hurst short throw shifter, which means that my shifts are gonna be faster because the throw between all the gears are gonna be shorter, and I'm gonna have a lot more confidence in my shifts because I'm gonna know what gear I'm in, and it's gonna feel a lot more solid. I have the stock steering wheel, but I plan to replace it with a Performance Alcantara steering wheel, but that is going to be pretty expensive, about $200, so I'm going to wait because that's not urgent. I still have the stock stereo from a 2000 Mustang GT, no AUX, no Bluetooth, and it still has a cassette player, which is pretty crazy. As you can see, I can't do much with it, pretty much just use the radio. I have this little accessory that I can plug in there, and it connects to the radio, and I can use Bluetooth, but it sounds terrible. If you notice here, I have a bass knob to control the subwoofer. Works pretty well. I would recommend it for sure. And that's gonna wrap up the interior for now. So let's pop the hood. Now we're gonna get into the performance modifications that I have going. The first thing I did was get a cold air intake from SR Performance. This cold air intake was only about $80. I don't really feel a difference in the car, and I don't hear a difference, so I'm planning on getting a new intake in the future. That's pretty much all I have done in the engine bay, but let's move on to the exhaust. Although I haven't bought a Performance catback exhaust, I have done a muffler delete on my car. I don't know if you can see from this angle, but it goes straight from the catalytic converters all the way back to the exhaust tip. There's no mufflers in there. The car sounds pretty insane, actually. So all I needed to do was get an exhaust pipe the same diameter as the one of the stock car. I had my friend cut out the mufflers and weld in the new pipe, and it sounds crazy. Even though there isn't a performance exhaust system, like I said, I feel like the muffler delete really woke up the car. I think by not having those really restrictive mufflers there, that straight through exhaust pipe really freed up some horsepower. The last modification that I have done to the car so far is a Bama X4 tuner. This tuner is supposed to optimize the mods that I already have for my car, like the SR Performance cold air intake and the muffler delete, and add some horsepower. I don't know exactly how it works, but it's supposed to add around 30 peak horsepower to the wheels once it's done with the mods that I have. Here is the X4 tuner that plugs into the car's OBD2 port and uploads the tune to it. Each time I get a new modification to my car, I send Bama a message and they create a new custom tune for me that should add even more horsepower. Now it's time to talk about my plans for the car for the future, which I'm super excited about. I'm leaving for college tomorrow and the car is unfortunately gonna be staying at home because freshmen can't bring their cars. So that means that I'm gonna be able to save up some money by streaming and possibly getting another job so I can finally do the mods on my car that I've always wanted to do. The first and most important mod that I wanna do to my car is wheels and tires. These stock tires are extremely skinny, only 245 in the front and the back, and the rims look super plain. I plan on buying the SVE Series 1 silver wheels. They're gonna be 18 inches, so 1 inch bigger than the wheels I have now. And I'm gonna have 285 millimeter width in the rear and a 265 millimeter width in the front. Having wider tires in the rear is gonna help me have more traction and it's gonna fill out this fender gap that I absolutely hate. Like you can see here, my tires are tucked under the fender and it looks really awkward. Once I get some wider tires and wheels, it should fill out the fender and really make those low ring springs look good on my car. Another pretty simple mod that I want to do to my car is a throttle intake. Connected to my cold air intake, we have the throttle intake, I believe, and the throttle body right there. And if I replace that with a BBK performance one, I should be able to gain some horsepower with the tune. Another thing I want to do performance-wise is get rid of the SR Performance cold air intake and get a better one. First things first, the cold air intake I have right now is not street legal in California, which means that I won't pass smog, so I really need to get a new one. And this one, it's not as high quality as more expensive ones because this is only $80. So I'm planning on getting one from either Air Raid or K&N, and that should be able to add a little bit more horsepower that I can notice and make the car sound even better. Another thing I want to do to my car, which is going to be a little bit difficult, but I want to get a new mid-pipe for my car and long tube headers. Those two mods together are going to add a significant amount of horsepower to my car and completely change the sound. Unfortunately, the long tube headers and the mid-pipe are not street legal in California, so every time I have to do a smog check, I'm gonna have to take them out and swap back in the stock ones. Eventually, I do want to get a performance exhaust system for my car because I know that'll free up some horsepower too. But I think once I get a performance exhaust system, I'm probably gonna do a muffler delete on that too because I really like how loud my car is now and how deep and throaty it sounds. So I think that might be the move. In the very far future, I do want to add some forced induction to my car. I don't know if I want to supercharge it or turbocharge it yet, but I know one of those things are going to be coming, but that's probably going to be a few years. Now on to the exterior modifications. First things first, I want to replace the stock grille with a Mach 1 grill delete, which deletes this honeycomb right here and this chrome outside and just leaves the pony, which I think looks super good. I also want to get the Mach 1 chin spoiler, which is going to go right here under the front bumper and make the car look a lot more aggressive. I'm not completely sure yet, but I think I want to go with some tinted headlights and possibly some tinted taillights too. I also want to get some window tint because these are completely see-through and it does not look great. One more thing I want to mention is that my paint looks insanely good for a 20-year-old car. It's still very flaky and shiny and I'm just obsessed with it. To go along with my subwoofer, I really do need to get an aftermarket stereo so my subwoofer can integrate a lot better with the sound system. To do that though, I would need to replace the dash kit, which is this plastic stuff around the stereo and the air conditioning system. I want to add a CarPlay stereo, which is going to be a double din, which means it's 2 times the size of the stock stereo. As you can see here, this only fits a single din, and there's this thing blocking it right here, so I couldn't fit the CarPlay stereo. So I'm gonna get a new dash kit, put that in, get the double din CarPlay stereo, hook it up, and we should be all good. That's gonna wrap up today's video. I hope everybody enjoyed themselves. Make sure to drop a like, click that subscribe button, and turn on those notifications. I'm gonna try my best to keep bringing out vlog content and car content when I'm at college. If I have any updates on my car, I will always let you guys know. Make sure to follow me on Twitter. Link is gonna be in the description. Also follow me on Instagram and join my Discord server because I'm very active with all those things. If you guys ever wanna reach out to me and talk to me, I will respond, I promise. Thank you everybody once again, and I'll see you guys in the next one.